Hello, friends. Hi. How are we doing? Welcome back to Get Your Play Online. My name is Jordan, and for today's Fun in the Kitchen, we are going to do a fun little pancake activity. So, our activity is making 3 different animal pancakes. So I have them set out what they will look like. So here we have a dog, we have a lion, and we have a caterpillar. So I will show you the dog first. Let's see if I can do this. Here's our dog. And then I'll show you our lion. I thought they were really, oh, there goes the lion's eyes. It's been doing that to me. And then last but not least, our caterpillar. I thought this one was very cute. So, you may be thinking, well, what do we need for this activity? To make the pancake mix, we will need, I'll tell you the ingredients first, and then I'll tell you like how much of it, the measurements. So we have our first ingredient, milk, and you will need one and then another half a cup. You will need 2 eggs. We will need a vanilla, and this you will need 1 tablespoon. And the difference, how you can tell between tablespoon and teaspoon, right here, you can tell it has a big T. So big T means tablespoon, and little t means teaspoon. Let's see. Our sugar, which I have in this big container, we will need 3 tablespoons of that. So I have another tablespoon, and if you don't, after you put the vanilla in, you can just rinse it out. But since I have another one, I'll be using this one. For baking, we will need baking powder. You just need 1 tablespoon of that. I'll just be using the same one because it's not a liquid ingredient. So we will need salt. We will need 1 teaspoon of that. So make sure you find the little t. Or mine says TSP. Let's see. And then flour is our last ingredient, which another big tub. And for that, we will need 1 3/4 cup. So that is how we will be making our pancake mix. And then to also put the pancake mix in, you will need, you can either make it in a bowl, or I have this, I don't know what you want to call it. I have this, so when you pour it into the pan, it'll be easier and you don't really make that many messes. But if you just do it in a regular bowl, just take another, like a measuring cup, one that's just laying around, scoop it in, pour it into the pan. And then to mix our ingredients, we need a whisk, or you can use a spoon. And then when we are pouring our ingredients into the pan, this part you want to be very careful because we are working with the stove, and the stove can get really hot. So make sure to have a parent or guardian around so they can help you. So yeah, we'll need a pan, and I'll get that. Have a pan. And then, of course, to flip the pancakes, we need a spatula. And then I just have this container to put in the pancakes when they're done off the stove. Also, we want to make sure that we have oil. We do not want to use a lot, just a little bit, but this will go into our pan on the stove so our pancakes don't stick to the pan. You'll need a very tiny bit. And then also, to make our little animals on, you'll need 3 plates. Now let's go to the ingredients we will need when we are ready to decorate our animals. So let's see, I'll start with the caterpillar. Like you saw, I can show you again. But we see for the eyes, you can either use raisins or craisins, doesn't matter. The little feet, we use chocolate chips. And then for the antlers, we are going to be using an orange rind. So I'll show you what they look like. Just look like that. Just cut it from the orange. And you can make sure to have a parent watch you, since you will need a knife for that. So that's what you will need for the caterpillar. For our lion, and once we get to this part to decorate, I will show you how to cut the strawberries. But we are going to be putting the strawberries around the lion's mane. We will be using blueberries for the eyes, another triangle strawberry for the nose, and then chocolate chips for the mouth. And then for our dog, be using the same thing as we did for our lion. We will use the blueberries for your eyes, triangle strawberry for the nose, and then chocolate chips for the whiskers. Are we ready to make our pancakes? Let's start with our pancake mix. So like I said, I will remind you again, for our milk, we start with milk. We will need 1 cup, so measure out a cup. Pour it into your bowl. Make sure you get all of it in. And then you're gonna take a 1/2 cup and get more milk and measure it off. And pour that in. That is done. Next, we will need our 2 eggs. Now this part may be a little bit harder. So if you want to have a parent do this, you can. But to break it, you're just gonna tap it on the edge of something to make it crack. And then you want to make sure you don't get any shells in. There's our first egg. And now on our second egg. And if you do get shells, that's okay. Just use a spoon to get it out. Let's see. So we have our milk and 2 eggs in here, and you want to get your whisk, and you want to start stirring. You want to make sure that you break up the yolk, which is the yellow or orange part. You want to make sure you get that broken up, so it is mixed in with the milk. And once it is mixed in, the mixture will be like kind of like my shirt, but a little bit lighter. So I see in my mixture, the yolk is all broken up. We are ready for our next step, which will be vanilla. Got some milk on my computer. That's okay. Okay, vanilla. And remember, for vanilla, we will need 1 tablespoon. So grab a tablespoon with the big T. grab your vanilla. This is brand new. You're gonna measure out 1 tablespoon. There we go. Put the lid back on so you don't spill it, because that would be a big mess. And you want to mix that in. The vanilla is brown. So as soon as the brown all goes away, you're good. Your next one is sugar. So we will need 3 tablespoons of sugar. If you want to count with me, we can. There's 1, 2, 3. And so you want to mix that together. Set your sugar aside. And once you know that the sugar is all mixed into your mixture, you shouldn't really feel anything on the bottom. Okay, that's mixed in. Our next one is going to be baking powder. We will need 1 tablespoon of that. Okay. So with my baking powder, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but on the inside there's like a thing in there. But with what I do, I measure it, and then since I have a lot extra, I use that to measure and take the excess off. So I get an even scoop. Pour that into your mixture. Set that aside since we don't need it anymore. And mix that up. You're gonna mix that up really good so we don't have any clumps. So once you see that there are no clumps in your mixture, you can move on to the next step, which will be our salt. Okay, almost there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Our next one is salt. We will need 1 teaspoon. Remember, the teaspoon is a little t, or TSP. If you need a parent's help, just ask for help and ask them which is a tablespoon, which is a teaspoon. But let's get 1 teaspoon of salt, and you don't have to use a lot. That is good. Pour that in. Let's mix up our salt really good, since you don't want salt in one place. Okay, we are getting to the last ingredient. Also, right now, let's go over to the oven and and turn on our stove. So when we are ready to put our pancakes on to the stove, onto our pan, it will already be heated. Okay, so what you want to do, grab your pan and get a paper towel. And you are going to take some oil, or you can use butter. I'm using oil for this. You're going to put a tiny bit. You do not need a lot, just a tiny bit. I'll show you how much I put in. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that, right? Let's see if I can hold it. Right there. And with that, with your paper towel, you're going to fold it up, it's kind of like this, and you're going to spread the oil around the pan. Once it is spread around, let's turn on the stove. And remember, the stove can get really hot, so you want to make sure that you are very careful around it and watching what you are doing. So with the heat, if you have, on my stove it's high, medium, low. We will be using a medium. So right in the middle. And it is on. Okay, let's go back to the last ingredient. So while we wait for the stove to heat up, we're going to put the last ingredient in here, which is flour. So our flour, we will need 1 3/4 cup. And then with flour, kind of like the same thing as baking powder. I will show you what I'm doing, but I get a scoop. Let me move this out of the way. So I get a big scoop. I don't want to see how there's a lot. So I take the smooth edge of the knife and I scrape it off so it is level. So let's pour that in to our mixture. And you're going to do the same thing with your 3/4 cup. So get a scoop. It's overflowing. Take your knife, the smooth edge, and scrape it off. And pour that into the mixture. Now, we have all of our ingredients. Let's set the flour aside. Make sure you put the lid on so you don't spill it, because that can be a very big mess. So the last thing you want to do is we want to stir. You want to stir up the flour really good. So, like I said, with the baking soda, you don't want any chunks. Same thing with the flour. Okay, so mine is really chunky right now. I'm gonna stir. Almost there. Okay, looks like my mixture is ready. Your mixture is ready if there are no bumps or clumps in the pancake mix, and we are ready to put them on the stove and make our pancakes. So I am going to take all my stuff, my pancake mix and the computer, over to the other counter spot. I'll show you what the pancake mix looks like too. So this is what it looks like. Oops. You can tell it's smooth. Okay. And I'll give you another reminder. We are around the stove. The stove is on, so we want to make sure, remember, it's hot. So we want to make sure that we are being careful. So with this part, you are going to start pouring the mixture, sorry about my dog, the mixture into our pan. Let's And you want to make sure you have your spatula by the side. So you're ready to flip it in a container. So let's start pouring. And first, let's start with our caterpillar. With our caterpillar, you are going to need 8 small, I'll remind you what they look like. 8 small circle pancakes. So that's what we're going to do for our caterpillars. So let's pour our mixture in, and I'll show you what mine looks like so you can kind of get an idea. That's good. So here is what it looks like. Oh, right there. Does anyone know when a pancake is ready to be flipped? Maybe you've made pancakes before in your kitchen, or maybe not. But if you haven't, mine's already starting to bubble. But you want to watch for bubbles in your pancakes. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's kind of hard with the light. But I see tiny little bubbles, and they are starting to pop, kind of. So once you see that, you know that your pancake is ready to be flipped. So let's flip it. And I'll show you what that looks like. There's our brown little pancake. Nice color to it too. So you're gonna wait for a couple minutes to let the other side get done. And if you want to check it, just put your spatula under and kind of lift it up. And that is done. So we got one down. Let's do our second one. And make sure to make all those the same size as best as you can. I don't know about you, but my house is starting to smell really good. Pancakes smell awesome here. Does it smell good in your kitchen too? So I see bubbles starting to form and starting to pop, which means that they are almost ready to be flipped. This is a perfect night to have breakfast for dinner. Or you can make them and save them for breakfast in the morning. So you can have breakfast for dinner. You can have eggs, bacon, sausage, some fruit, which our fruit is going to be on our pancakes. So that's exciting. You can add syrup or butter or peanut butter or whatever you add. Second little pancake is done. Going to make our third one now. And if you need to turn down the heat a little bit, you can if it's too hot. But don't go really high or don't go super low. In the middle, at the medium. almost halfway through for the caterpillar. On to our fourth one. You guys having fun with this? I am. I know I like to bake in the kitchen a lot, whether that's this, let's see, cookies. I like to make cookies, brownies. Cookies are probably my favorite. Those tiny little bubbles are cute. Okay, we made it all halfway through. Onto our fifth pancake. That's a funny looking one. So that was our fifth one. Make your sixth one. And to get like the excess off of the bowl, I usually just like try to shake it a little bit so it doesn't drip all the time. And something funny you will see about my pancakes, I'm not sure why it does it, but once you will make it, I'll show you. But there's a little circle, tiny circle, around the outside of the pancakes because for some reason there's no bubbles around the outside. But I will show you when we get to making them. So we got our sixth one done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more for the caterpillar. We're gonna make all the pancakes at once and then decorate. So it'll be easier. So we're not going back from the stove to over there to our ingredients. Smells so yummy, I'm getting hungry. Okay, that was our 7th one. On to our last pancake, small pancake for our caterpillar. Oopsies. Almost done. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Perfect. That was a nice color. Okay, so now that we have made our pancakes for our caterpillar, let's move on to our lion. So for the lion, if you remember, I will tell you, we will need 2 pancakes. A big one, and then kind of a medium-sized one, not as small as these pancakes. But let's make the big pancake for our lion's head. And I'll show you what mine will look like. It's a very big pancake. So if you need a parent's help flipping it, you might want that. I will show you how big. You ready for the big one? Here we go. Look how big that is. The bubbles are already starting to come up. Looks like it is ready to be flipped. Oh, that was a good flip. Wait a couple minutes to let the other side get done. Let's check it. Oh, perfect too. Big pancake. Let's put that into our bowl. Be careful because it's really hot. And let's make the second part of the lion, which will be kind of like the face, the smaller part of the face, where we'll put the strawberry and chocolate chips on. And I'll also show you the size of this one. So remember, not as big as the one that we just made, but not as small as the caterpillar. About that size. So that's like a medium-sized pancake. So let's wait for the bubbles to come up. Oh, I like that color. That was a very good golden brown color. How do you guys like your pancakes? Do you like light colored, the golden brown colored, or dark? Kind of like, not burnt, but, or maybe you do like your pancakes burnt. I don't know. Kind of like with marshmallows. I like mine lightly golden, where there's crunchiness to it, but not too burnt. Okay, so now we have made our line pancakes, and we are left with our dogs. So with this one, you will need 4 pancakes. Kind of like the line, you'll need a big one, a medium one, and then for our ears, you kind of in a oval shape, but I will show you what that looks like. So I will actually make the ears first too. So with this, I found out that instead of just pouring the mixture into the pan, that makes it into a circle. With the ears, since you want like an oval shape, you pour it and then you kind of drag it down. So I will do that and then show you. Okay, so I made the first one. See how it's not really a circle? Like an oval shape. So you'll be making 2 of those. So we have 4 pancakes left. And then we are ready to decorate them. I'm excited. See our bubbles coming up. Ooh, another golden brown one. Let's see if I can show you. I like that color. Okay, 1 ear done. Onto the second ear, do the same thing, pour it, and then kind of drag it. And actually, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Sorry I didn't do it for the first time. So just like that. I think my favorite part of this process is watching the bubbles appear and then pop away. I think they're really cute. Let's flip it. Two more after this one. Second ear done. And let's make the head of the dog. So remember, it's going to be about the size of the lion. That's a pretty big pancake. So it is ready to be flipped. Be very careful so it doesn't break. Oh, that's a good color. Got one more after this. And then we are ready to decorate our pancakes. Add a little one. So the order we will be doing to making the pancakes, just to let you know ahead of time, we will be doing the dog, and then the lion, and then the caterpillar. But you can do it whatever way you want. But I'll just be doing that because that's the order of the pancakes that it will be going in. Okay. Last one. So remember the medium size, just like our lion. Not too big, but not too small. And you will have mixture left over. So you can make the rest of the pancakes after we decorate our animals. So then you can make leftovers or more pancakes to eat. Well, you can do that after we decorate them, because it'll take up too much time if we keep making pancakes. Even though they're fun, I like making pancakes, but I'm excited to decorate them. Our last pancake will be flipping. Like I said before, it smells really yummy. Okay, our last pancake is done. So, before we go back over to the other counter, let's make sure to turn off our stove since we will be done for now. Turn that off, and then you can go ahead and move the pan to another section of your stove just to let it cool off a little bit. So let's go over here, bring in our pancakes. I'm gonna move these other plates over here so we have room. Okay, let's make our dog. This might be a little tricky. Okay, so we have our plate. Okay, there we go. So first you are going to remember the pancakes are still kind of hot, so you want to be careful. If you want to let your parent do that, go ahead. But let's start laying our pancakes on the plate. So you are going to take our biggest pancake, lay it right here on the center of the plate. Take your medium-sized pancake, lay it on the big pancake, and then take your two ears and then kind of tuck them under the big pancake, so they're not all the way out here. Tuck them under. Do the same with the other side. We're actually gonna flip that one upside down. Okay, I'll show you what we have so far. So we have this. Let's turn that into a dog. So with that, you will need 2 blueberries. Also, make sure to remember to wash your fruit before touching it. So we're gonna take our 2 blueberries and lay them on the bigger pancake to make them as eyes. And if you need to press your pancake down so the blueberry can stay, you can do that. Let's see, our strawberries. Okay, you will need, oops, see that one kind of fell. So I just kind of make a little hole so it stays. Let's see, do I have one in here? I don't. Okay, so we will be doing that together. So, since we are with fruit, wash them, which I already did. Since I can use this kind of knife, I don't really need a really sharp knife because it can cut through. But for this, cut the stem off. I'll throw it back in. Then you're gonna flip it like this on the side, not on the side, like this. And you're going to cut this part. So it turns out to be like that. And you're gonna take that, let's see, yeah, make it into a triangle. So with that, you're gonna kind of cut the sides off. And then cut the other one off to make a triangle. And there we go. We have our little triangle. So with this, you are going to place it as a nose. And you're gonna put this side, so here's the outer part of the strawberry. You're gonna lay the inside of the strawberry up. Like that. And then you are going to take some chocolate chips. You're going to need 5 for this part. That one out. Okay, let's see one more. And for this, you are going to, I'm gonna actually flip it up. That's okay. You are going to put one right here. And then you're gonna put one over here on the other side, and you're gonna kind of make a line. So like that. And then do it the same on the other side. And we have made our dog. We have our first animal done. Okay, you can set that aside. Let's see. Our lion is next. So you're gonna take the big pancake on the center of your plate. I'm gonna take this medium-sized pancake, place it right there. Okay, that's it for that. And then, as if you remember, on our lion, on the outside of the pancake, they were strawberries. So that's gonna be for the main. So I already have some cut up, but I will show you how you make that. So they look like that, kind of like triangle. But let's see. I'm gonna start decorating that so I can see how many I will need. But you will not be covering all the way. I mean, if you want to, you can, but I'm not going to. I will just go around and then kind of leave the bottom. Not with any strawberries. So with the strawberries, you are going to tuck them kind of into the underneath the big pancake. Not a lot. You want to make sure that they're sticking out still, but that's what you're going to do for each strawberry. And I will be cutting up some more, so I will show you how I made them. And I'll show you what it looks like right now too. Okay, looks like I'll need 3 or 4 more. So this is what our main looks like. So you see with the strawberries are going around. And I'm gonna move this far side so we can show you how I cut up the strawberries. So kind of like what we did with the dog's nose. I'm just gonna take this strawberry that we had cut up for the dog's nose. You're going to put it down. And you're gonna just start making small cuts, not big. So you wanna make sure that okay. So I have these. Okay. Let's bring back our plate and start setting them around our pancake. I'm gonna cut that one a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have the mane of our lion done. Let's move on to the face. Same thing with the dog. Make sure you wash your blueberries. But you're going to take 2 blueberries and make them as the eyes. Like I said before, if they're moving around, just kind of make a hole into the pancake to get them to stay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So we'll need another nose made out of a strawberry. So I'm just going to take this one and cut it into another triangle. Okay. So we have our triangle. Oops, there goes my blueberry. Okay. So you're going to, like we did for the dog, it's going to be the opposite. So like for the dog, this was up. But you are going to have it down. So the outer part of the strawberry will be up. So that's going to be as the nose. Okay. Now, you're going to need chocolate chips. And let's see, you will need 8. Yep, 8. And it's okay if you get more than 8 because you'll be using more for the caterpillar. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's put these aside. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So you are going to take him down from the tip of the lion's nose. You're gonna put 2. I'll turn it so you can see what it looks like from your view. You're gonna put 2 in a line, and then you're going to start curling it upwards. Kind of like a mustache out. Some guys, let's bring that down a little bit. Okay. So how it kind of curls. And we're gonna do it for the same for the other side. Oops. Since the pancakes are warm, they're kind of melting. Dun dun dun. We have our lion. Look how cute that is. Okay. Now we have one more. So grab your last plate. And for this, for our caterpillar, you have 8, take one at a time. But you're gonna set the second one right here, and then the first one will be over the second one. And then the rest of them will just be stacking on top. So kind of like this, take one and cover it a little bit, and then go up. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Up. Cover that, and bring it down. 2 more. Cover that, bring it up. We have the body of our caterpillar. So we got 3 more things to add to it. We have the eyes. So for the eyes, I am going to use craisins or cranberries. And if you want to use raisins or chocolate chips, you can do that too. So you're gonna put it on the front of the body. To make them into eyes, like that. And then the orange rind to make antlers, and you can see that they're curved. You want it to be like that. So we're gonna take one, curves out, and put it on my left side, which will be your left side too. And then take the second one that curves out this way and put it underneath here. There we go. Kind of looks angry right now. Kind of hard to see, but right here, the antlers and the eyes. Okay, our last ingredient, guys, which will be chocolate chips. And for this, you will need 2 for each feet, or 2 for the pancakes. So don't put any on this one, or this one. You're gonna put 2 right here, 2 right here, 2 right here, 2 right here, and 2 right here. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I already have 4, so I'll need 6 more. Okay, let's start adding. I'll turn it up this way. So starting at the front, just put it below the bottom of the pancake. It doesn't have to be under or on top, just below it. Let's do this one. And then remember, we're not putting any feet for this one. Let's do this one. And then this one. 2 more chocolate chips, and then we have finished. 1 more. We are done. Oops, that's kind of, since it's on the curve of the plate, I'm gonna put them up here. Okay, look at that. We just made our caterpillar. We have our eyes, the antlers, and then the feet. And then I'll show you what the other two look like again if you forgot. But we have our dog. So we have their ears, blueberries for eyes, strawberry for the nose, and then chocolate chips. And then our lion. We have the strawberries as the main, blueberries for eyes, strawberry for nose, and then the more chocolate chips for the mouth. I hope you all had a great time making animal pancakes with me. I'm glad that you were able to join me on this wonderful Sunday. And I hope I will see you guys with Get Your Play Online next time. Bye!